Aren't you glad to see me?
Hello, and welcome to another installment of Luna's Art Archive project. Today we're going to be looking at a house, the house I built for my husband, actually. It is in a three Walk of the Dead in Neriak. I almost made it to 800 items. I think I did pretty good, but it's probably because I didn't use all the rooms. That's why I didn't use all the items. um, so anyhow, this house is meant to be like a spooky kind of house. My husband really loves horror movies and things like that, so it's kind of loosely based off of different horror movies. The front room, the whole concept is that it's a little town of dreadful encounters. So there's four houses in the front room, and then each house takes you to a different spooky encounter. So the front room, we'll start off with this house. So you come in, you walk in, the front door is right behind here, and so this is just a little house that I built out of Grobstone vaults. I just hid all of that stuff. I really liked the blue. It looked like dark blue stucco to me, and I really liked that. So there we go. So that's the first house. The second house is over here. It's just a little shack. Easy peasy, cute little place. We have this foggy place over here, which is just a little white and red. This house is actually made out of books. So just the edge of the book right there. Yep. And last but not least, we have a little church. Oops, I keep going behind the bushes. The little church is made out of the Shroud of the Revered. I really liked the mossy stone look that this had. I thought it worked very well in this room. So when I was planning this room, I was originally planning like each door would open and take you to the different encounters, but that just the way I ended up having to lay out the house, that ended up not working. So we have a teleport pad for three of the rooms, and then you can go through the door over here for the last well, it would be the first encounter that we go to. But yeah, so this room is just like a fall kind of spooky, but kind of just looks nice. It's to kind of lure you in to maybe it's not as spooky as I'm trying to say it is. There is a sign here that tells you about the teleport pad and the door. You got to make sure that you want to turn off your light, because let me show you with the light on. The light on is just not as cool looking. So turn your personal torch off. And yeah, so over here we do have a little graveyard area, and I took the quotes off of the ride in Disney World, the Haunted Mansion ride. When you are in line, there's little gravestones everywhere, and my husband really loves that ride. It's his second favorite ride in Disney World. So I decided to take those. So it says like this one: while brother Roland here reposes, his soul's above one supposes. Or here lies good old Fred, a great big rock fell on his head. And lastly, dear sweet Leota, loved by all, in regions beyond now, but having a ball. So this room took quite a while. The whole project took I started planning, like getting ideas for it about 5 years ago, and just slowly putting different ideas together and ended up barely using any of those ideas. And then last year, when we went into lockdown in 2020, in March of 2020, I decided to pick this project back up again, and I finally finished it. So, all right. First things first, let's head off to the first encounter. I took inspiration from the movie Poltergeist, but it's not about the movie Poltergeist, but you'll see what I mean. So you come inside. If you are a tall character, you'll want to go into to first person, because you'll see some things that you don't want to see, but short characters like my Fae here is just fine. So you walk in, and there was that thing that popped up that said, "That's odd, someone's left the TV on." And then you keep following this path. That's all you can see is the path, and you get over here to the TV. Yeah, and so the TV's on, as you can see, obviously. uh, and so you can kind of look around the TV, and in the back here, it has its own cord and things like that. There's a sign here that says right click the button to turn off the TV. So if you right click the button, it says you could turn off what ends up being the fog, so not the TV. So you turn off the fog, and then you can really see the TV and the painting and all the creepy, scary stuff too. Yep. It's just a really creepy, spooky room. There's a sheet. It's a mannequin with a shield and another mannequin with a knife that bleeds hiding inside so that it looks like the eye is bleeding. And then I have all this creepy stuff. It's meant to be a jump scare. If it can jump scare somebody, see, you can actually see the knife coming out of this one in a little bit because I couldn't quite get it in there as far as I wanted to. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping that people will turn off the fog and then be completely freaked out by what they see. So yeah, so that's the first room. All right. The first encounter, as it were. Okay, next we're going to head to the teleport pad, which is over here. And oh, one thing too, that TV was a nightmare. As you know, I don't use the layout editor. And no matter how hard I tried, even though I've done it before in the turtle lair, made the glitch like that, it would not work for me at all. So I had to call in Vasiagio to use the layout editor to finally get it right to work. And I could not be more happy with it. Thank you so much, Vas, for saving me. I had already been working on that stupid TV for 2 full days before he rescued me. So thank you so much. All right, first place we're going to go is Live or Die, Make Your Choice, which is a quote from the Saw movies. And so this first room is roughly inspired by by the Saw movies, which is one of my husband's favorite movie franchises. So here we go. So it's your typical gritty, nasty, grungy dungeon, torture dungeon type room. The floor is slanted. The entire floor is slanted. Even the outer side is a slight slant, just so that all the blood and urine and crap can go down inside there. You know, that's how that works. The walls are made out of the baneful sarcophagus lid. It's the underside of the lid. I used these in the turtle lair as well to get a grungy uh sewer type look to it. And over here we have our torture table full of all sorts of different tools you might use, like, you know, the bone saw and stuff like that. Important. So here I wanted to torture, quote unquote, some of our favorite, again, quote unquote, uh, NPCs on EverQuest. And so one of them, of course, is Ko. We love Ko, don't we? And I don't have a Ko plushie, so Bucket of Ko is the best I could do. And it says, he always did delight in finding bits of things. Now we can delight in finding bits of him. So good job, Ko. That's what we needed. He deserved it. I got the big saw blade, kind of like a miter saw over here to be able to come and cut some people up on this spooky table. And then I have a little area for the saw to go back up into the ceiling. And then over here, we have Duggan Brandywine, who, of course, is super unhappy because he can't eat that. And we have Kella Swapfoot as well, just over here freaking out, getting ready to get tortured. Now, see, the thing is that these two could get out if they wanted to, because behind the fan blade is the key. But they would have to chop their hands off, or one of them would have to chop their hands off to get the key, and they just don't want to work together because they're just those type of people. So, you know. All right. So yeah, so that's the torture room. This was actually the first room I built in this house. And yeah, if you see the red light here, because right outside this door is the front room. So there we go. All right, next we're on an express elevator to hell going down, which is a quote from the Alien movie. So this is like an alien autopsy kind of room. I just took inspiration from different alien autopsy rooms and movies and created my own spaceship down here. So this is in the basement, in the first room of the basement. in that house. So I made the walls out of dark icy tiles because I liked the metallic look that they gave, and the floor is actually made out of undertow palace tables. So I just hid the that I really liked the potted, however you want to say that, pitted look that it had. Also very metallic and alien looking, in my opinion. So, all right, here we go. You ready? This is my favorite room. Ba-da-da-da-da. There it is. So, these pipes that I built are made out of the laboratory research flasks. Uh, I was the flasks was the only idea for this room that I had that carried over. So about 5 years ago, when I was started to make ideas, that was the one idea I had, and everything else has been redone in some way. Basically, I got a lot of these green lights. I liked the green and purple glow look that everything did, and then if we hop up here, we got this poor erudite, and see, he just stuck his hand in there with his heart out. Something's going on over here, so some sort of autopsy. And so yeah, I love this little alien guy. And I like how this ended up, it was kind of a happy accident where I made it like it's taking his essence and it's putting it into the floor, and then this alien is sucking it up and using it to for his own self, like almost like food, I guess. So that's what this guy's working on the guy, and this guy's taking his essence, and then also his essence is coming from his head and into the control panel, so he's also powering the ship. And then this can be either like another sort of alien, or maybe it's the ship itself is an alien. It's whatever you want to believe. And the control panel is just more of the same glowy purple and green items, just in different random orders. So yeah, this is my favorite room. I love the way this turned out with the neon purples and the neon greens. Oh, and my big claw up here. This is actually the bottom of the Ocean Lord pearls. It just happened that those came out when I was working on this room, and it worked so perfect in here. Like the color fits so well. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with how that turned out. Okay, so the final room is not technically based off of any movie. It was just kind of a what I thought my husband would like a house to look like, but I also threw in a little homage to one of his favorite shows, and I'll show you when we get in there. All right, so here it is. We are in the Twilight Zone. This is the little homage that I threw in as a last minute decision. And so I got the clock and the E equals MC square and the door and the eyeball and the mannequin. This is extra because it comes with a skull, and I just thought it looked cool in here. So there we go. In fact, let's do this. There, now we can really get into it. So yeah, so this is actually the window into the final room. So you come through here, and so this final room is just in my husband's style. I thought this was what I would if I were to decorate a room specifically for my husband in our house. This is how I would decorate it. If he didn't give me specific instructions on what to do, this is what I would probably do. So we have this little skeleton here with a custom stand. We have our flower pots over here. This rug is made out of two of these circular rugs and black books, actually. The chairs are what is this called? The fishbone earring. And these chairs that have spines, which I thought were really cool to add. And then the fireplace is made out of gravestones, actually. So it's my gravestone fireplace with a little zombie head. The little guy back here is an inside joke between me and my husband. Back when he was playing a lot, we would sit and like hide this in each other's houses, this same exact little plushie. And so I had to put him in his final resting place, as it were, here, because my husband doesn't play the game anymore, but I still wanted to finish this house for him. So yeah, so we got the couch, we got the chair, oh, and the table. This thing is a brazier, um, and it's just flipped over, and the skull part is hidden. I was originally going to try to use the skull part, but the feet ended up being cooler. So yeah. Over here we have the table, again with a custom rug made out of the black books and this rug, which is, yeah. The doors are those carvings or whatever that we can craft, and actually the frame around the window is made out of the same thing to keep it all concise and looking like it matches. We got mushroom guy over here with another custom stand. The table matches that table, except it has the black trim. I loved this little setup here with the black rose. And last but not least is the fish tank. So this was one of the original ideas that I had, was this fish tank. It didn't turn out the way I had wanted it to, but I had seen somebody else make a fish tank out of this jar that looked so gritty and nasty. I think they put like a fog cloud in there, but see, it didn't work to put a fog cloud in mine because you turn off the fog downstairs. So it would have turned off the fog and then you wouldn't have seen it anyways. So, but yeah, I like the way it turned out with the glowy green stuff. I think that's more my husband's style. He likes clean fish tanks, so dirty and nasty probably wouldn't have worked out. But I did have my one little smoke cloud in there to kind of look like algae floating around in there. I also made this custom wall art. It's got a shield and some other things just up there. And da 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 da, an elevated ceiling, because this chandelier had to be in the house. I could not live without this chandelier, and it was too big. So I had to make an elevated ceiling with these bookcases that no one can find a use for, but it works really good to make cool ceilings. So there's an idea for anybody who needs to use it. So yeah, so that's the house, the whole house. Like I said, I didn't use every room because I really wanted to focus on the whole premise of the 4 rooms, the 4 encounters. There is a book here, and it goes through and basically says everything that I've already said inside the video, except that at the end here, I do want to say thank you to a couple people. Annalie was actually the one who purchased both of the aliens down in the alien room. So thank you, Annalie, so much for that. Vastiagio, of course, good God. I will never be able to thank him enough for coming in and saving me with the layout editor, okay? Thank you so much. um, Kian was with me through a lot of this build, helping me and giving me suggestions and things. So thank you so much, Kian. And then Stellacious was the one who did the final walkthrough, make sure there was no glitches, and did all of that, like, behind the scenes stuff, because I'd been staring at this for so long. I needed somebody to come in and make sure there wasn't any glitches or mistakes. So thank you so much, Stellacious. So yeah, so if you want to come visit it, it is currently on the Hall of Fame. I don't even know what number it is. It's like 20 something, but that's going to change. All you have to do is type in, oh, here it is. LTODE. But if you type in Luna Rosa, it will also pop up. So yeah. So that's it. Oh, and it's on the Skyfire server. And Skyfire server, type in Luna Rosa, and you should be able to find it. So thank you so much for joining me for another installment of Luna's Art Archive project. And I can't wait to see you for the next one.
Don't lose hope without me.
She says the silliest stuff. Bye, y'all.